Okay, so I have to take off my shoes and any jewelry, so I'm just putting that away. I'm nervous. Okay. I don't know what this is for. They did it last time. I still don't know why, because they didn't do that the first 2 times. But I am done here putting my shoes on, and then I have to go back out in the waiting room. I'm in this little tiny room. And then I'm gonna be called, I believe, by a doctor, but I'm not sure if he's an endocrinologist, so I'm gonna make sure to ask. If not, then I don't know if I should believe whatever this doctor has to say. And I might just have to go see an endocrinologist after this. We just got to my endocrinologist. It feels weird saying my, since I've never been to him or her. This is entirely different because obviously we're stationed in Germany, so this isn't the first endocrinologist that I started with, so that's what makes me nervous. Also, like the language barrier, it's making me freak out. Okay, I am now in a different waiting room. Phoenix and I had to stay behind, but like, it just doesn't stop. I'm still super nervous. There's that language barrier, like I said. I struggled even finding where I'm supposed to go. Like, the lady at the reception was telling me to knock, but she wouldn't tell me like the number of where I'm supposed to knock. So then I knocked at this one door, and like no one was opening the door until finally someone walked by, and I just asked them if, like, what am I supposed to be doing? But basically, I'm gonna try and give you guys a little update right now before I get called in. I was diagnosed with, it's been so long, pituitary gland benign tumor. Basically, it was, the way that this started was my menstrual cycle basically stopped in high school, and I waited like 3 years, 4 years even, until I finally got checked out. I got an MRI, and that's when they found the benign tumor. They said that my tumor was the size of a quarter, and then I was placed on medication, and a lot of you guys were asking me what's the name of the medication, and I feel like I did say it on that one video, but it was cabergoline. I was taking that twice a week. Immediately I got my first period, and everything just seemed way too normal. I went back a year later, and they said that my tumor has shrunk from the size of a quarter to the size of a dime, which was a huge change. Obviously the medication worked. I was getting my menstrual cycle without a doubt. And then when we got stationed in Germany, I had to see another endocrinologist, and that's where it kind of like changed. 2 years ago, when we first got here to Germany, I went to get an MRI, and I saw an endo at the same clinic. And he said that if it wasn't for the paper in front of him telling him what I had, that he would have never known, because he didn't see anything. He didn't see a tumor. So that should have felt like a relief, but it wasn't a relief to me. I'm sorry, I have to wear this mask in here, and it's like the ones that are mandatory here in, I don't know if it's all over Europe, but for sure in Germany. And I lost where I was at. So I remember asking him if I should continue taking the cabergoline, and he straight up said, I don't know, because he didn't see why I would take the same medication if I don't have nothing anymore. And I always wanted to get a second MRI and go to a different endocrinologist, but I just never did. I got pregnant, obviously, so I stopped taking the medication, and now we're here. I did this MRI. in February, and I am now seeing this endocrinologist. And what was making me stress out is that it is an hour away from where we live. The last endocrinologist I saw was only 20 minutes away, so obviously you guys know that the drive, like, that's all I was thinking about. Okay, so I thought I would film the rest of this video while it's still fresh instead of waiting a few days and then getting back to you guys. So I am back, obviously. I did see my endocrinologist. I actually felt very comfortable with her. I liked her. She was a female and she did speak pretty good English. There was a few words that she couldn't kind of like translate, but it's fine. Kind of knew what she was saying. So basically, there's no tumor anymore, and I should be happy, you know, that they're saying this, but she doesn't seem to have all of the information from the first MRI, the second one, the third one. She only has the last information from my 2019 MRI, and that's the one that I got done here in Germany, and that's the one that I hated the most. So the information that she received said that I have had surgery, and I've never had any type of surgery in my head. Like, that is just crazy. So immediately she was like, what the hell? So she was questioning everything. She basically asked me to tell her exactly how this whole thing started. And if you guys didn't know, I mean, I'm sure you guys watched the first video, but little recap: in 2011, actually she made me start from the day that I started my first menstrual cycle, which was in 2006. In 2006, that was the first time that I had my period, and it was kind of inconsistent. It was on and off. I would get it every other month up until 2011. In 2011, I stopped having my period. I don't know if the timeline is right. This is how I remember it, but around 2011 I stopped getting my period, and then in 2015 my husband pretty much pushed me into getting checked, and, you know, just trying to get this whole thing figured out, because I was obviously not having my menstrual cycle. With that means I wouldn't be able to have kids. So they did the MRI. They found the pituitary gland prolactinoma tumor, and it was the size of a quarter. Eventually it shrunk down to the size of a dime within 1 year of being on cabergoline. You guys keep asking me about the medication that I'm currently on, and that is cabergoline. I'm not taking it right now, but where this is all going, I think I am. So I was put on cabergoline. I started my menstrual cycle like right away, like that same week, and I always had like a regular flow up until I obviously got pregnant and I stopped taking cabergoline. So from 2016, that's when it actually started. 2016 till 2020, I basically took it for 4 years. So at this appointment, they drew my blood. She didn't see, basically I gave her the disc that the people at the MRI gave to me. And the way that this worked, 2 years ago when I got that MRI in Weiden, I saw an endocrinologist there on that spot. So he explained to me, like, you know, I don't see nothing, you basically don't have nothing, and just sent me my way. But this time around that I got the MRI in February, they only handed me the disc and that was it. Like, they were like, okay, you're good to go, and I was like, that's it. So I didn't see an endo there, and that's why it just took me forever to finally get seen somewhere else. So she explained after she saw the disc that she didn't see any tumor, but she found a cyst. And like, this sounds scary. I haven't even told my mom. I'm waiting for her to wake up so I can call Arizona time. But yeah, she found a cyst underneath the pituitary gland where, you know, the prolactinoma tumor would be at. And the cyst is filled with water, and it's actually pushing up against the, I want to say, pituitary gland, and that is what's stopping me from getting my period all over again, because this was a little concern that I had. I am officially 10.5 months postpartum. I breastfed for 3 months, so that means that I haven't been breastfeeding for almost 8 months. So I feel like I should have started my period by now, but I haven't. And then also, a question I would get asked from you guys is if I notice any side effects, and I always reply back with my breasts getting fuller. So this is in fact true, and I actually just re-googled this, you know, like prolactinoma, high levels, and all of the situation, and one of the side effects is leaking from your breasts. Now this is something that I for sure didn't think it was normal, but I didn't think much about it. Like from 2011, for like so many years, I would leak every now and then. I wouldn't leak. Like if I applied pressure, I feel like a little liquid would come out, just a tiny bit, and it wasn't all the time. It was like maybe once a month or something like that. But I still have that coming out of me, and even more. So I'm just thinking it's milk. So I did tell her about that, and she checked that whole situation out. And yeah, actually I don't even know where we're at right now. So this is, I thought this was gonna be like the update, like the last bit of it, but it seems like it's not. Now I have a cyst and there's water in it, and she's saying that you could potentially like go in there and remove the water, but the water will come back, so there's no point in doing that. And she also doesn't know if this cyst is growing because this is her first time seeing my MRI, so she doesn't know how it looked a year ago, you know. So update, there's no tumor but there's a cyst now, and I don't know what this means. So basically that cyst is just pushing up over there, and it's also giving me like all the same side effects that I was having when I had the tumor. So the biggest decision that I have to make right now is if I want to continue taking cabergoline. She made it sound like it's totally up to me, like you don't have a tumor, so you don't need cabergoline to shrink the tumor to stop these side effects, but you're still getting these side effects because of the cyst that's like touching certain things, you know. And obviously if I don't take cabergoline, I'm not gonna get my menstrual cycle. I already gave it a chance, you know, like that's why I haven't started cabergoline this entire time since giving birth. Usually you would just jump right back on it, but I didn't because I wanted to see if my period will come back on its own. And you know, it's been 8 months and it hasn't, so I feel like it's not gonna come back, and I feel like I do have to take cabergoline if I want my menstrual cycle to come back. But she also made it sound like you don't need it unless you're trying to get pregnant. So for those people who are leaning more towards that, like if that's your concern, I feel like that's the main reason why you guys asked me what medication I was on, because you guys seen that I did give birth to a baby girl. I did get pregnant, so I was able to get pregnant, and I feel like it's all because I was taking cabergoline. It's all because cabergoline was helping me get my menstrual cycle. Like without it, I just don't see me getting pregnant possible. So maybe try and like if you have no idea what's going on and they don't either, maybe push this, you know, maybe bring this up and say what if this and that, you know. You just never know, like if that is what's happening, like if you're not getting your period, like I don't know, it doesn't hurt to try cabergoline. And the only reason why I'm saying that it doesn't hurt it is because I don't have the tumor anymore, so I don't see why I should be taking cabergoline anymore, because I thought that that was just for me to shrink the tumor. But now that there's no tumor and she still thinks that I should take cabergoline, like I don't know what's going on. But that's basically all the update that I have on that right now. With my blood being drawn, I'm obviously going to be waiting on those results, and then we could come back and do another update. But baby girl's probably gonna be waking up any minute now. I was trying to do this as fast as possible. So with that being said, I am ending today's video right here. Today's shout out goes out to all of you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for reaching out to me, for, you know, just trusting me and, you know, sharing your story with me. Just know you're not alone, and there is, surprisingly, there's a lot of us with this situation, and this sucks, but just know that you're not alone in this. You can continue sharing your story with me, giving me an update on how it's going, if you started this medication, if you brought it up, you know, like, where are you in this journey right now. Don't forget to give this video a huge thumbs up. It really helps me out. Comment, like, share, and subscribe if you are not subscribed to join the Raya Shields family, and I will see you guys soon. Bye guys.